Salutations, ladies and gentlemen, the Knife Raven here, back again with another video. And in today's video, well, first of all, happy 4th of July. As a neighbor of yours, as a Canadian, I wish you the very best on such a day as this. I know Independence Day is quite the big deal for you, as it rightfully should be. So, I hope you enjoy today, and I hope this video actually reaches you today. But regardless, I figured for such an occasion, I would be discussing a piece of American cutlery, and I immediately went for something iconic, say a Buck 119 or a Trapper model of some kind. But then I realized, you know what? Every other channel's probably going to do that. Someone else will have reviewed the Buck 119. Someone else would have reviewed the K-Bar. Someone else probably reviewed a Schrade electrician's knife or a Case Barlow. So I wanted to do something a little different. And this is still a very iconic American knife, and it's one that I've reviewed before, around 2 years ago. So this is a knife that has been carried and used for, 2 years. Not every day, but it's a knife that I frequently carry. And that is the Buck 55. Now the Buck 55 is the scaled-down version of the Buck 110 Folding Hunter. The 110 Folding Hunter being arguably Buck's most iconic piece. The 55 is a scaled down, it's about half the size, and it's a very slender, small, and elegant pocket carry. There are no sheaths included with this, no clip obviously. This is just a pocket knife. And so, before I actually take a look at the knife itself, of course, comes in Buck's usual yellow box with their forever warranty, which is acclaimed one of the best in the world. And here it also says that this is a natural handle, and it gives you a little description of such. The handles on this are genuine ebony hardwood, and it has a very, very nice grain pattern to it. Again, with ebony, it's typically very dark, has a nice inky color. Very smooth, very well sanded. The construction on this knife, like many other Buck knives, features the raised pins, one of, I believe, stainless steel and 2 of brass. Same thing on this side. This gives them an extra bit of grip and texture, so you have a bit more to hold on to. You have your slanted brass bolsters here, which have taken a nice little patina. You've got the linings, also of brass, and a stainless steel backlock, all one piece. Blade, which opens with a nail nick, although there's enough to pinch it open easily. It is a clip point design featuring a somewhat satiny finish. The nail nick is very deep, very well ground in. The clip has dual swedging at the top, giving it a nice profile. The grind here is Buck's hollow grind. I know a lot of people don't like this particular grind. I, for one, have had no issues with it. I found that I've only sharpened this knife a couple times. I haven't really needed to sharpen it all that much. But it sharpens up well, and it takes a very, very nice edge. The steel is 420 HC, also stands for high carbon. And aside from that, the blade, again, the hollow grind makes for a fairly robust edge. It's quite thick at the top and tapers down to a very, very thin grind for the cutting edge. On the tang, it says Buck 055 U.S.A. And that little symbol here stands for the date of production. I believe this knife was made in 2021, which is the year that I purchased it. The lock is strong, but easy to disengage with the little backlock here. Blade play, there is indeed some minimal blade play here. The gapping department is not that bad. Holding it up to the light, there are some very minor gaps up here, but aside from that, quite well put together. Again, the rivets are raised intentionally, that is not a flaw, and the transitions from the covers to the bolsters are perfect. This is a very small knife, again, full 4-finger grip for me, and I have medium-sized hands. If you have larger hands, this will probably be maybe 3 3/4 of a grip. Definitely not a full 4-finger grip, but you can choke up with a little bit of the tang here, and you get a fairly solid grip on it. You can also put your thumb on the clip part of the blade, which adds for a little extra control. Again, these are made in Post Falls, Idaho, USA. The forever warranty is, again, I've heard many wonderful things about it. I rarely warranty my knives. I often don't have a reason to, and if I do, I generally have to ship the knife out of the country because very few makers are actually within Canada, and I figured that the whole postage and, well, return postage is not really worth the time. But again, Buck has made a reputation on having an incredibly good warranty for their products. So I'm very happy to hear that, and I'm glad that that's still going strong even today. But again, this knife is very, very stylish. I think that it would make for an excellent suit carry. It's very thin overall, and could fit into a 5th pocket, a back pocket, or even a breast pocket very, very well. And I think that stylistically it is very handsome, very traditional, and still has a good bit of blade on it to get in some fairly substantial use. If you're buying this as a hunting knife, I would strongly suggest against that. I'd much rather recommend to you the Buck 110 or 112, which are very similar knives, but in larger size varieties. Whereas the 55, they do market it as the 55 Folding Hunter. This is not a hunting knife. Maybe you could, if you're good enough, maybe you could use this for small game. But I think that this fits the role of a pocket knife, not a hunting knife. And again, I am no hunter. I've stressed this on many occasions, but I am an enthusiast for good pocket knives, and I can say that this is certainly a good choice to consider. I do think that the fit and finish is far from perfect. Again, you've got some offset blade, you have the blade play up here, and there's a very slight bit of gapping, which is probably the most insignificant of my complaints. But still, the knife isn't perfect, and they definitely aren't going to be GEC quality every time. But of the Buck knives I have, I am overall quite impressed with them. And I think they're very nice knives with a lot of history, and they really represent an entire, well, genre within the knife community. I think that the style of blending classic traditional knives with brass and hardwood with modern hunting selections, I think that it makes for an excellent, well, bunch of products, and I'm very supportive of Buck and their company, and I've been thinking of getting a hold of one of their limited edition carbon fiber models in this variety. But regardless, this is a comfortable knife, easy to sharpen, okay steel for the price, well put together, good heat treatment, good warranty, and wonderful materials. I love the hardwood and the brass. Excellent for style, isn't going to scare anyone, should be legal in most places unless you are not allowed to carry a locking knife, and is just overall an excellent carry choice that I would recommend to almost anyone looking for either just a rugged, small, general-purpose everyday carry, or, depending on the situation, a higher-class gentleman's knife for a special occasion. And I would say that this combines the ruggedness of Buck's knives with the class and style of a more, well, usual gentleman's knife. In this case, we have a Boker here. And I think that Buck has taken the 55, and they have done a brilliant job of combining the two worlds. You have a small gent's knife with, well, a lot of heritage dating back to larger hunting knives, and I very much appreciate what they've done with it. So splendid job on Buck's side, and if you've made it this far, well, thank you very much for watching. Again, happy 4th of July. I hope you enjoy your festivities, all you in the U.S., which apparently is my largest viewer base, so hello from me to you, your next door neighbor, saying hi. But regardless, thank you very much for watching. Again, not perfect, but definitely a good choice. 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10. And yeah, this has been the Buck 55 Folding Hunter in ebony and brass, and this is the Knife Raven, as always, signing off. Goodbye.